All right, superlatives time. What do you got?
Well, okay. I mean, I think the first one I want to go with is thank you for your blessing award, and it goes to that game, okay? Because we haven't talked about that yet. And the Pope, we know, gave the little tweet yesterday that, of course, somehow on social media got mixed up, and it became the Saints fleur-de-lis.
We know what happened. Yeah, the hashtag Saints.
I
they
get
got
it.
the deal
I'm
with the
just
NFL.
trying to get a quick one for the fans out there.
But the Pope is infallible.
Yes.
So the Pope meant to do it. He doesn't do anything by accident.
Right.
He's infallible.
I'm with that. And he knew that the Saints were – he was looking at the line yesterday, and he said, what? They're underdogs? This is crazy. But I got to give the New Orleans Saints a lot of credit. Just the way they're playing football right now. They find ways to win games week after week, whether it's defense, run game, Teddy Bridgewater playing really smart, understanding really the full scope of what each game it takes at the quarterback position, and not kind of like, overdoing it as far as trying to make plays or trying to look cool and sexy on the offensive side of the ball. He's really played well and managed games the correct way. And I don't sit here and go like, oh gosh, if Drew Brees played yesterday, they would have thrown for 400 yards. No, I don't think, like, in some of these games, I don't think the stats would be a whole lot different if Drew Brees was playing. But their defense is phenomenal. I got to give Dennis Allen a lot of credit. Early in the year, you've heard me say this, they were playing a lot of man-to-man and letting up some big plays. They have switched their formula in the back end. Their defensive line is as good as it gets. Their offensive line is as good as it gets. And Teddy Bridgewater is really doing a nice job, and that's why you pay money to have a backup quarterback when you think you're a Super Bowl contender.
I talked to Cam Jordan after the game. He had both sacks of Gardner Minshew, and he said one of the keys for that defense is a lot of those guys have been there for 3 years now.
Sure.
So the defense isn't dealing with new pieces, new parts, and
it's like
that
New
has
England,
helped them
they know every check,
gel
every
faster.
call. Right. You do this, I'm going to do that. Or we can switch roles. You do that, and I'll do this. And there is something to that.
And when you think about Cam Jordan's career with the Saints, he arrived in 2011 as a first-round pick. He's been around for some bad defenses.
Right.
The 3 years post Bountygate, where they were horrendous. They were historically bad. They have found their way with Dennis Allen. At some point, he's going to start being mentioned as a potential head coaching candidate.
Right.
It'd be interesting to see these teams that have really good defenses.
Yeah.
Will we go against the grain of you must be a young offensive mastermind to be a head coaching candidate? Guys like Robert Saleh, guys like Dennis Allen, will they be in the mix for jobs next year? This Saints defense has been phenomenal, and they got it done yesterday. So the Pope, they can thank the Pope.
The Pope.
The Pope gets the award. We'll be sending something over to the Vatican for the Pope.
Okay.
All right. Inside Information Award is my first one. It goes to Gerald McCoy and the Carolina Panthers. And I spoke to McCoy after they bedeviled Jameis Winston on Sunday in London. McCoy said, look, Jameis Winston, 4 years with him. He likes to step up in the pocket.
Yep.
I spread the word, and we got pressure up the middle. They sacked him 7 times. He had a bunch of mistakes. It was classic bad Jameis Winston. Like, bad Jameis Winston has been lurking all year long.
Right.
And Bruce Arians has been doing the best he can. It's like having a dog that wants to run through the yard and bite somebody. Like, you keep it under control, and you keep it under control. All it takes is one day, though, and the dog gets loose, and he starts biting everybody. That's what happened yesterday with Jameis Winston. And on the same day that Marcus Mariota got benched, Jameis Winston, the other top 2 pick in the 2015 draft, looked horrible. And I think if they had somebody they really believed in, if Blaine Gabbert was healthy, maybe he would have gotten benched during that game on Sunday. That disaster for the Bucs that sees them fall to, are they 2-4 now? They're 2-4.
Right.
And when you look at where the Saints are, I called it an NFC South Championship elimination game. The loser of that game is going to have a hard time catching the Saints.
Right.
A very hard time. And now you look at the Bucs at 2-4, and they've already lost to the Saints once. For them, it's scramble for a wild card in that division that we've been talking about all morning, or in the conference that is chock full of great teams that are already squatting on the 5 seed and the 6 seed.
Yeah, no, it was an ugly showing for that Bucs offense. Now, I understand Jameis Winston's, mistakes, certainly, big issue. Okay, he's, I think, a much better quarterback still than Marcus Mariota. I just want to make that clear. At
That's
least
a low
in my
bar.
assessment. Well, yeah, but Jameis Winston, let's not forget, the few weeks before this, he's been phenomenal. It was 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in every game since week 1. It wasn't his fault, damn, Bruce Arians screwed up the end of the game of the Giants, too. I'm just trying to give him a little bit here. But either way, yes, we saw a little bit of like that governor that we've seen, okay, let me throw the ball away, or I'll just take the sack. The worst one to me is when they were down in the the red zone, and he scrambled out to the right and just, like, again, lost sight of, like, hey, there's defensive linemen that are chasing you. This is called football. And he moves and just continue to hold the ball. I'll say this also in his defense, too. Man, was he under attack, too. Some of those interceptions, he got hit as he was throwing the ball. But either way, it was not a good look. And, yeah, now you worry about, does this continue to be a theme with Jameis Winston this year, and maybe Bruce Arians can't get it out of him.
The thing about Jameis Winston, and Arians said it yesterday, he tries to be Superman.
Yeah.
And the one thing that is so relatable about Jameis Winston, I think we've all been there at some time in our lives when we're doing something athletic that our brain believes we are capable of doing it.
You're right.
But our body isn't capable of executing the commands as dictated by our brain.
Right.
That happens to Winston, and Arians have been able to keep it under wraps for most of the year. And his passer rating was phenomenal except for week 1 and yesterday. He had 100 plus. He had a 120.5 rating against the Rams just a couple of weeks ago, but 46.8 yesterday against the Carolina Panthers. Not good at all. 5 picks, 7 sacks. And you just have to wonder what Bruce Arians is thinking about Jameis Winston at this point, and ultimately what the organization is going to think.
Yeah, no doubt. They're in a tough spot, but I still think they'll ride with him, and I still think he gives them the best chance as far as anybody on that team is concerned. All right, my next one, mistakes by the lake. Okay, and that goes to the Cleveland Browns, Seattle Seahawks football game, which was a lot of fun to watch yesterday. And Cleveland had opportunities to win this football game, but really just continued to make big mistakes in big parts of the game. Whether it's being stopped on 4th and 1, whether it's Jarvis Landry at 4th and 1 from the goal line. Okay, whether it's Jarvis Landry where I do think he scored, but there wasn't a great angle to show it. He fumbles as he's going into the end zone. Baker Mayfield throwing a ball behind the receiver, kind of too contested in the end zone. Ball pops in the air, interception. Baker Mayfield, interception at the end of the game, throwing the ball behind Hilliard. Nick Chubb, when they're on the verge of the red zone once again, running out to the left, getting the ball stripped out of his hands by Ezekiel Ansah, who has the strip fumble recovery. So there was a lot of issues in that game. I mean, hey, we know Seattle's going to battle, and they can cause havoc in a game, and they always create turnovers, and Russell Wilson is the MVP of football right now, but there's a game where the young team that's still trying to figure out its way, they probably could have won or should have won that game yesterday, but they're learning how to win in the NFL as we're watching them right now, and yesterday was a game they blew because of kind of their inconsistencies and carelessness with the ball.
Up 20-6, and look, the difference between a team with a championship pedigree and a team that is trying to build one is the team with the championship pedigree knows how to turn it around and dig out of that hole. And the team that is up by 14 may be inclined to think, all right, here we go. We're going to get this one. It's going our way. And the next thing you know, it's not going your way. And when I look at this schedule coming up, they have the bye week, and they need it. They just need it. Baker Mayfield needs it. He's got a hip injury. He admitted after the game it's tender, it's sore. At New England, which is not going to be an easy one.
No.
At Denver the following week, which all of a sudden
that'll be tough.
Is not going to be an easy
Never
one.
easy to play.
Buffalo at home.
Oh, gee.
Buffalo, baby.
And then the Steelers.
Well, and that's the thing. We were saying how the schedule softens after week 10.
That's not
all
that
of a
soft.
sudden, it doesn't look that soft.
No.
That's a Thursday night game. Visit from the Steelers. And here's the thing about the Steelers. In primetime?
Yeah.
In primetime?
Yeah, they show up.
They show up.
They do.
They showed up against the Bengals. They showed up against the Chargers. And they're going to show up against the Browns. Because even if the Steelers have no chance of getting to the playoffs this year, and right now they're just they're just, a game behind the Browns. They're tied with the Browns.
Right.
They're tied with the Browns, and they're 2 games behind the Ravens.
Right.
The Steelers may be still jockeying for position. These games are not going to be easy. And the games that are standing out are the 2 games against the Bengals, Washington. I'm looking at the preseason. Sorry, 2 games against the Bengals and Miami.
Yeah.
Those are the only 3 games on the back end of the schedule that I say the Browns are going to have an easy time of it now. And, it may be that they do not finish with that same 7-8-1 or better record than they had last year.
No, they might not. You're right. I mean, they got a lot of games to play here, and they got a tough schedule certainly. And Russell Wilson's awesome. I mean, how awesome is Russell Wilson? I mean, he really is. I mean, we don't. He just the plays he makes, some of the throws he makes, it's phenomenal.
We take it for granted.
Yeah, we do. We take it for granted. I think after 6 weeks, I want to go, yo, Kurt Warner, my quarterback ratings were better than yours because Tom Brady and Drew Brees are not 1-2 in football. We know that at this point, okay? I know I was a little wrong about Tom Brady. I should have had him probably at 5 or 6, okay, instead of 9 or 10. I get that. And I'm just going to Kurt Warner. I'm saying it right now. You're wrong, man. He put Brees and Brady 1-2, and he trolled me. I didn't like that. Wasn't cool. So I'm just letting him know. He was wrong. He was wrong. The Saints are 5-1. I don't know. You don't know what to say. Don't worry. I'll take it from here. Okay?
I'm trying to decide. Do I just let you keep digging?
Yes, just let me dig.
Do I jump in and say,
hey, those guys are really good, but to say that they are better than Deshaun Watson or Mahomes or Rodgers or Russell Wilson at this point is insane. My ratings were closer. At WEEI. Hey, call him up. Get him on. Explain himself. Okay? Yeah, I'm digging myself. I don't care.
I'm just envisioning, I don't know, should it be boxing or should it be UFC?
It's not that crucial.
You and Kurt.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not that crucial.
For charity.
I have a lot of respect for Kurt, but he did troll me.
For the American
and he said I did it for
Spleen
clicks,
Foundation.
and that bothered me. He said I did it for clicks.
I'm just trying to think, would I bet on you or would I bet on Kurt?
You would bet on, you better bet on me.
I don't know.
Kurt's tough, though.
I don't know. I think
Kurt's the man.
Yeah, I think I'm on Team Kurt for that one.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Set it up.
Good. You might not be in the next segment of this show.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.